Joining us via Zoom is Kiralee Graham from Dovetail Social Enterprises. Kiralee, welcome to The Informer. I want to know where this lovely name Dovetail came from.
Yeah, there was a moment of inspiration that I got when I saw the dovetail joint that happens in joinery, where it's two pieces of timber fitting together without any sort of hard fixing or glue or anything, but it's an incredibly powerful joint and a very strong one. And that's...
Oh, sorry, you're using that that model or that imagery or that analogy to run this idea now of bringing grassroot charities and business together.
Yeah, that's right. I've had both experience working for a small grassroots charity and volunteering for nearly 20 years, but I've also had my own businesses. So I think I had a really incredible insight into both areas. And I could see that there was a real gap in the market. There was certainly a lot of, I think as a charity, you would love to get a partnership with a big corporate, like a bank or a multinational insurance company. But in reality, they're not interested in those small grassroots charities. But then there's also a lot of small businesses out there who would love to be involved with a charity, but there's so many barriers that come up. They have the thought and they think, gee, it'd be great to work with a charity, but which one would I choose? Can I trust them? Is the money going to go to the right place? Am I going to get the feedback of how my money was spent? And for smaller charities, they don't have a lot of resources there available to actually manage those relationships. So I saw that there was an opportunity to really, be that connector between the two, bringing all of my experience of both, working in the charity space, but also in small business and sales and, my business development background.
Hence Dovetail Social Enterprises. I love it. Now, I have seen the example you talked about come to life. Small charity, 40 years ago I'm talking about though, or nearly 40 years ago. And the corporation that agreed that it was a pretty good idea was Coles. And I'm talking about Red Kite. Mm-hmm. So Red Kite started as a small charity with an idea to help all those families that are affected by the impact of someone in the family having cancer and providing a service. And it's become a great story. So it is possible if you tell the story properly and if you understand the role that each plays.
Yes, and I think that a lot of charities get started from a really beautiful space. People are personally impacted by a disease or a situation, whether it be domestic violence or something traumatic that may have happened, and they really see an opportunity to be able to help and support others through their own experience. But a lot of people, when they come into the charity space, are quite naive, as I was myself, about what it actually takes to run an organisation. And, it is, I think, a real challenge for people who have never even been in business to actually then start a charity. And then they discover at some point that they can't actually grow to scale. And so a lot of those charities and the grassroots charity founders end up being quite burnt out. And, I think there's a really great opportunity if you can actually find enough, like you said, if we have multiple hands that can actually offer help, we can together actually really be, I say, the wind beneath the wings. They're doing an amazing job out there. Let's just actually empower them to do more of the great work that they're doing. So it's a real opportunity.
I love that. I love that drive. I love that passion. I love that imagery that you just showcased for us. This energy beneath and lifting people up. That's encouraging. That's terrific. That's what real charities do. But this is COVID-19 across Australia. Charities under enormous pressure to find the next dollar. How do we help them? How do we get them across the line, Kiralee?
Well, look, I think this is the thing that we could quite easily be overwhelmed by, the prospect of how we can actually help. And I really believe that, and this is the reason I actually chose to start a social enterprise rather than doing another charity. I actually think there's a real place for us in our society, and particularly in Australia, where if we can collectively come together and support these sort of smaller grassroots charities that are doing the on-the-ground work, if we could all just do our little part together and work cohesively together, we can actually have a very dramatic effect. And so it really is about choosing one that you are, you have some sort of calling to. There's a cause that you're actually really passionate about, and finding a way that is actually going to bring value to them as well as bringing value to you and your business. So I very much, focus on the small business community, because I really want to enable them. And I think that the days of the charity model are very limited. I think it's a very old model. I think it's defunct. But I do believe that as a society, it's going to be social enterprises and B Corps that are really going to bring the social change that we need in the world. And we can only do that if we all work together on it.
How can we help? How can we get involved and boost Dovetail social enterprises?
Well, we're actually going to be launching our pilot program at the end of this month, early October. And we're really looking for businesses that would love to actually, create a really strong, powerful partnership with a charity or a cause that, they're really interested in making a difference with. And what we do is we work very closely with those charities to identify what they need to develop their capacity so they can do more of the great work that they do, and also work with the businesses, kind of like an outsourced corporate social responsibility team, to actually look at how we can bring value to their business to get involved and create that partnership with the charity. And whether they do that and they want to engage their staff, if they want to engage their customers, if they'd like to create a product line that they could have, part of the proceeds go to, we've got a range of ideas. So it's really just jumping onto our website and getting in touch with us.
What's the website again?
So it is dovetailsocialenterprises.com.au.
Fantastic stuff. And when do you set up and basically press the button and go to launch?
Yes, we're going to, I'd love to get a whole bunch of businesses to be a part of that launch process. And it'll be a very sort of hands-on and a lot more tailored, so that we can make sure that we're delivering the best service for the businesses and for the charities. And yes, we'd love to have, a range of different businesses involved with that launch early next month. We've got some amazing charities that work in the space of getting people long-term unemployed back into the workforce, educating girls in third world countries, stopping young children from getting caught into the sex trafficking in Asia. Some really amazing causes there that a lot of people, I think, would really get behind.
Not only important causes, but most worthy ones too, that will make an enormous difference to our society and our country. Kiralee, thank you so very much for joining us and giving us an insight and a little bit more about this wonderful idea, this energy that you're creating, and we wish you every success with the launch.
Lovely. Thank you so much, George. Really appreciate the opportunity.